So I read this comment a bunch on social media. It's one you probably have heard before or at least seen it written somewhere. If not, you might have said it. But I hear the saying or read the comment all the time that says, everyone's not meant to be an entrepreneur. Have you heard that before? Everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. I can't stand this saying. In all honesty, I cannot stand when people say this. I understand what they're trying to say. But also at the same token, I really don't understand what they're trying to say. When someone says something like, hey, not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur, it's also kind of like, well, not everybody's meant to do everything or anything, meaning, right? Not everybody's meant to be an employee. Not everybody's meant to be a carpenter. Not everybody's meant to be wealthy. Not everybody, right? Everybody can't do everything. But the essence of that comment is saying, people that have tried entrepreneurship or tried to start a business or tried to go out on a limb and take a risk and do something for their family and failed at it, they all of a sudden believe they're not cut out to be an entrepreneur. And I just reject that term and I reject that statement. And in this video, I'm going to share a couple reasons with you why we can't in 2023 believe those types of things. We can't believe those lies that we're not all cut out to be entrepreneurs. Hey guys, my name's Chris. I'm your financial coach, financial therapist, founder of United Agency, co-founder of United Agency, and just here to share this message with you. I thought this was a really important topic as we go into 2023 and we're continuing to advance our lives, because those of you that are watching this video, most likely you're watching our channel because you're trying to advance your life in some way, move something forward, get some business insight, some financial insight, something along those lines. So for all of us that are really in that process of saying, you know what, I want to take my life to the next level. I want to change some things. I wasn't happy with how the past 5 years looked, so I want my next 5 years to look better. These are some things that are common that are out there. And again, as I started the video, one of the things that we hear a lot of is, hey, you know what, I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur, or not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur. So here's what I say to that. Everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur because everyone is cut out to own something. Entrepreneurship is really about ownership. And some of you that have been following us for a little bit of time, you know, we talk about the difference between employee mindset and entrepreneur mindset. We have videos here on the channel that talk a lot about the entrepreneur mindset and what that means. But then there's the employee mindset, the mindset that most people grow up in, that go to school, get good grades, get some higher education, get a job, work at that job, get a better job, take that 3% raise, switch to a new company that values you a little bit more, that gives you a little bit more work-life balance, make it to 6 figures, right? Get a chance to buy the house, have the car. That's kind of the employee mindset of things, where you just want to be a worker. You want great benefits, right? You want to be able to have your weekends off, your 2 days to yourself, whatever the case is. The employee mindset is starkly different from the entrepreneur mindset. And one of the things that goes back to this comment of not everybody can be an entrepreneur, or not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur. Actually, if we change the saying and say, hey, not everyone is cut out. Matter of fact, instead of thinking of it that way and saying not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur, what we should be saying instead is everyone is cut out to think more entrepreneurially, right? Because again, these are mindsets. So we're thinking more entrepreneurially. That means, what does that mean to be to have an entrepreneur mindset, or to think more entrepreneurially? Is to think about ownership and having ownership. Everyone in this life requires, or wants at least, to own something, to have ownership over something. This is why it's so scary to be in the middle class, right? The middle class, I've heard this said before, but the middle class, they rent their income, they own, and they want to own their home, right? But the opposite for wealthy people and people that are in the upper class, they own their income and then they can also own their home. But the key is to ownership of something. If you don't own your income, that's why most times we go after owning material things. If you have to rent your income, meaning you have a job, you on a salary, they could fire you at any time. You might have to look for employment soon. Something changes and your entire income goes from 6 figures to 0 overnight. You're renting your income. So that's why many employees and many people in the middle class that are employees, they want to own their home. They want to own their car. They want to stay out of debt so they don't have to owe other people. That's a form of ownership for themselves. It switches a bit when you think more entrepreneurially. You think about owning your income, owning your streams of income, owning your lifestyle, owning your time. You see, when you have a job, when you are working for someone, you don't own your time. Someone else owns that time. They tell you when to wake up. They tell you when to go to sleep. They tell you when you can take a vacation. They tell you when you can see your kids, when you can pick your kids up from school. And again, there are people that need to start off having a job. But if you want to take your life to the place that you want to design the ideal life for yourself, eventually you will have to find ways to own your time and your money. You'll have to find a way to do that. If someone else constantly owns your money and owns your time, getting to the ideal life you want is going to be almost impossible. So when people say not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur, it's almost like saying not everyone's cut out to follow their dreams, or not everyone's cut out to own their time, or not everyone's cut out to own their income. And obviously we know that's false. Everyone is able to and should strive to want to design the life that they want. We only get one life. And so it makes sense to put ourselves in a position to think more entrepreneurially. Normally, again, where that saying comes from of, oh, not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur, it normally comes from a place of someone tried something and failed. They tried to start a business. They tried to go off and create another stream of income, and it was too hard. They were burning the candle at both ends. It didn't succeed in the way they want to. They didn't make money. And so now they believe they're just cut out to be an employee. But that's settling for that life. So for anybody out there that's listening that wants to say, you know what, I do want to be more entrepreneurial. I might not know the business right now, and I might have tried a business that doesn't work or businesses that do not work, but I do want to control my life. I do want to control my time. I do want to have more financial freedom and time freedom. I do want to experience more things with my family, experience more things in my health. I really want to design the life that I want. Well, what I would encourage you to do is start thinking more entrepreneurially. One book recommendation, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Definitely a book that many people have read and many people have gone back to, but there's some foundational things in that book that talk about the difference between how an employee thinks, aka his poor dad, or how entrepreneurs think, aka his rich dad. I'm going to leave you with 2 different pieces of information from the book that I think will help you continue to bridge the gap of you becoming more entrepreneurial. Maybe not going out and just starting a business right away, but changing your mindset to become more entrepreneurial and thinking more of ownership of your life. 2 keys from the book. 1, the rich don't work for money. I think that's number 1 in the book. So you have to start to figure out a way and put yourself in a position to not work for money, to work to acquire values and skills and to develop yourself and to get into abundance and then allow the money to come. So that's one takeaway. The second one is a question opens the mind and a statement closes the mind. One of the things that I see a lot when we have these conversations for those that believe entrepreneurship isn't for everyone is they make a lot of statements. I can't afford it. That's a big statement people make. I don't have the skills to start a business. Starting businesses are hard. My family life stops me from starting a business. I don't have time. All of these things are statements, and a statement, as Robert Kiyosaki says in the book, closes the mind. But a question opens the mind. So what would a question be? How can I afford it? How could I get more time? How can I spend more time with my family? How can I learn the skills to start a business? Who do I need to know to help me start a business? See, those are questions. And the questions you start asking yourself are really what help you open your mind so that your mind can go to work thinking about how to get that answer. If you make statements to yourself about what you can or can't do, Either way, you're going to be right, but it closes your mind. So those are 2 takeaways from the book I highly recommend to help you become more entrepreneurial. So again, for that statement of not everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur, everyone is cut out to think more entrepreneurially. Everyone is cut out to design the life that they want. Everyone is cut out to have ownership over their time, their money, their health, their mindset, their relationships, to have ownership, to take full ownership of their life. Everyone is cut out for that. So if you ever hear that message of, hey, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, reject that right away and say, hey, entrepreneurship is for me. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. Next time, we'll have another conversation about some of the things that you need to do to continue to take your life to the next level. Until next time, later.